Welcome to Just a Minute. My name is Dr. Henderson, and these three brave participants are going to play a game today. The game, as usual, the rules are very simple, impossibly simple, although some may say simply impossible when they start to play them. So I will give them a topic that they must speak on for 1 minute, and they must do so without repetition, deviation, or hesitation. So the scores so far: Mr. Loosemore was ever so slightly ahead with 7 points, Mr. Hibbard ever so slightly behind with 6 points, and Miss Lee ever so slightly behind that with 2 points. Now, we're going to start with a game which will be begun by Mr. Hibbard, and the topic is: repetition is a teaching must. Repetition is a teaching must. 60 seconds, if you will, starting now.
Repetition is absolutely a teaching must, because the best way to get something to embed in somebody's head is to go back to it time and again. There are so many studies that show that our cognitive brain patterns work extremely well if we repeat material in a series of...
Oh, put him out of his misery, won't you? Yes, Mr. Loosemore.
Hesitation.
Hesitation is absolutely right. Mr. Lee, I don't know why you hesitated there. You hesitated with calling it hesitation. Well, absolutely right. Hesitation, so Mr. Loosemore, you now have the topic. 36 seconds remaining. Repetition is a teaching must, starting now.
Mr. Hibbard was right, of course. The cognitive science which teaches us how learning happens.
Miss Lee?
Repetition to cognitive.
Now, although Mr. Hibbard did say cognitive, it's actually all right if Mr. Loosemore says cognitive. He could say exactly what Mr. Hibbard said again, if he wanted to, if he could remember it all. But no, I'm afraid that we start again from whatever Mr. Loosemore first says. So I will not give it the point, though, because, again, you're new to the game. You're not an old hand like these two gentlemen over here. No. So we won't give it the point, but you do still have the topic, Mr. Loosemore, with 30 seconds remaining, starting now.
That research is absolutely clear, and our pedagogical approach here is very driven by that. So we have a learning to learn program for staff and students, where as professionals we're reflecting on our practice and making sure it's always as good as it can be. And for the students, we are teaching them about how their brains work. We're teaching them about good revision skills and how to learn. And we're
teaching, absolutely. Teaching, a very common turn of phrase that you might say, teaching and then teaching again, but sadly not in this game.
It's the passion I have about that.
I completely understand that. So, Mr. Hibbard, it's your turn. You have the topic for 9 seconds remaining. Repetition is a teaching must, if you can, starting now.
Repetition is a teaching must, especially when it comes to the exam period, because examinations require us to regularly return to material.
Oh, very good. Well done. Examinations. Exams, I think that was masterfully done. Now, in this game, whoever's speaking when the whistle blows gets an extra point, which means, goodness me, has anything like this been seen before? Mr. Loosemore and Mr. Hibbard are neck and neck, both with 8 points. Miss Lee, just a few points behind them. Join us next time.